To Europe, where there's a bit of a sense of relief this morning as a key pipeline resumes pumping natural gas from Russia. Supply is flowing again after a 10-day maintenance break. The Nord Stream 1 is Russia's biggest pipeline. There had been fears Moscow might not turn the taps back on in response to EU sanctions over the war in Ukraine. Canada is facing criticism from Kiev for repairing the turbines from the pipeline. Ukraine's president accusing Ottawa of indirectly helping to fund Vladimir Putin's war chest. Abby Kugadathan is with us this morning, live in London, to talk about this latest development. And as I said, it's flowing again this morning, Abby.
Good morning, Heather. Flowing again, and certainly a good morning here in Europe, where there's much relief that the gas is flowing again after the scheduled maintenance, the annual maintenance. And of course, due to the war in Ukraine, Russia's invasion of its neighbor, and the sanctions against Russia, there was real concern that President Vladimir Putin might not allow for the taps to be turned back on. But the head of Germany's regulatory office, Klaus Müller, tweeting earlier this morning confirmation that the pipeline is up and running. However, gas is flowing at a reduced capacity, about 30%, which is even lower than the 40% it was flowing at before this annual maintenance. Now, Nord Stream 1 is massive for Europe because it is the largest direct gas supply route into the continent, and countries like Italy and particularly Germany rely heavily on Russian energy. And we've heard German leaders asking people to use less energy whenever possible. They've been saying that since February 24th, since the invasion of Ukraine began, that everyone needs to do their part. The vice chancellor has said that, he's limiting his time in the shower and that everyone else needs to do what they can, use less water, forget about the air conditioning. Yes, there is a heat wave, but we have to do everything we can. And that's because Germany and other nations are trying to essentially stockpile natural gas before the winter months. The worry is if the Kremlin cuts off gas, people would suffer in those cold months, but the economies could fall into recession, causing even greater pain. The International Monetary Fund has said the German economy would take a hit if Russia cuts off its gas supply, entirely cuts it off. It's about 5% hit, they say. And analysts are saying what is crystal clear right now, Vladimir Putin is in the driver's seat.
Abby, the EU, we know, has been looking for alternatives to Russian gas, and we heard from the EU Commission President yesterday, Ursula von der Leyen, urging member countries to try to cut back, to shore up for this winter. Tell us about that part to the story.
Yeah, Europe has been talking about this again since the weeks leading up into this war. Ursula von der Leyen saying that, Vladimir Putin is essentially blackmailing Europe and that Europe needs to continue to prepare for the worst. The EU Commission has proposed that all member states cut back on Russian energy consumption by 15% going into March. So ministers will meet on Friday to discuss it, and they'll vote on it next week. It has to be approved by every single member state, and if that happens, it becomes a mandatory situation, and they're seeing this as necessary given what they're calling an emergency situation that they've now found themselves in. So again, Europe looking at refilling gas storage before winter. They want all their facilities to be at 80% full by November 1st. Right now, it's at about 65%. But again, a mad scramble in preparation for the cold, brutal winter ahead, Heather.
Abby, thank you very much from London.